I had no idea you were behind me the whole time. It was a wonderful surprise. Thank you guys for having me here tonight. You're all wonderful. This has been a really great evening so far. I have to say it feels a little bit like coming full circle because I have this book, which one of the very first reasons to start doing it was when Wayne came up to kitchen sessions where I'd been reading at and said, hey, as soon as you have a thing to sell and stuff, we would love to have you feature. And I was like, hey, I should maybe do that. And so I feel like we've come full circle because I now have a thing and here we are. So thank you again for having me.
You have a thing!
I have a thing! And good on Dwayne for pronouncing it correctly. It has thrown every MC so far, so well done. In fact, I'm going to start by just telling you what that word means. It is a word that I found in one of my professor's poems. It is a geological term, so we're going to learn things. It's a noun that means it's loose earth material that has accumulated at the base of a hill through the action of gravity as piles of talus, avalanche debris, and sheets of detritus moved by soil creep or frost action. I don't know what soil creep is, but it sounds like it's a villainous thing, so quieter.
No. It's a slow movement of Earth, and you can always tell it if you look at a hillside, and if the trunks are bent going up, that means it's been creeping down as they've been growing up.
Which means that happens in Bellingham all the time.
Yes.
So good thing I made my book this. All right, so I'm gonna get started and read you guys some things. This first poem is called Atavism, which is another weird word. I like words. I bet you guys do too, because we're here. Words!
Things and words!
Things and words. This is for Gabriel Garcia Marquez, very much influenced by 100 Years of Solitude. If you haven't read it, go read it, because it's the best. Atavism. Maybe time is a water slide, flowing up instead. We stand in its pool, already wet and out of breath. Death, the tired lifeguard, yawns at the top, a whistle around its neck. The end of the ride pulls you from the pool by your hair. Your head laps around its axis mundi, an umbilical cord that issues itself forever from a family yoke. It's a thin strand, a band of redundancy like the abundance of Buendia sons and daughters, all fodder for the prophecy of one pigtail. This is called Visitation Rites. Hot dogs blackened on metal hangers in a front yard fire pit. Sandstorms that interfere with the basketball playoffs. His garden and our holes, hollowed, house wolf girls or volcanoes. Flies on the glass eyes of humbled cows, dirty diapers, cheap donuts earned with dishes washed, Bibles read. The radio bellowing gospel, the taste of powdered copper in the wind in Arizona. Our Augusts quenched by 25-cent sodas, 10-cent candies, McDonald's pancakes, and dollar store crossbows. I don't remember my father's arms, only the scratch of his whiskers against my face, his lisp over the phone. I remember a 9-year-old with a photograph, a 10-year-old with the blue-black cackling soothsayer of a magic 8-ball, bubbling up with concentrate and try again. So, little things about me. This poem's about those things. My family is steeped in some weirdness. My mother was raised in a cult that is a sect of the Mormon Church. Got nothing against the Mormon Church, except for the ones I come from. It's called polygamy. You may have heard of it, maybe not. There's a HBO show called Big Love, which gets most of it wrong, at least as far as my mom experienced it. So, but it's a general act of a man marrying more than one wife. You have to have a certain number of them, like commodities, to get to heaven. So we left when, my mom left when I was 2, and it's always felt like a very big part of my life, though I wasn't embedded in it. And I had a really hard time trying to find a way to write about it for a long time. Then I found out there's a bug called the Mormon cricket. And I was like, there you go. So this is called the Mormon cricket. For it was in the lands south of the Great Salt Lake that the swarm multiplied, set out to starve the settlers of their harvest, hungered in droves. They seek blood atonement for those that faltered, failed to move to eat to breed, bird to eat, and advance their pilgrimage. My mother was a Mormon girl, a Mackert daughter, number 25 of 31 children, begotten by 4 sister wives to 1 man. At 18 years old, she wed a Barlow boy, kissed him for the first time, and became united in the eyes of God and the church. She was told the only way to reach the kingdom was to be harvested. My mother didn't bear fruit for the first 3 years, and she had us, my father's first 5. Having reaped her plenty, he hungered for a second wife. We left when I was 2. The Mormon cricket cannot fly. They crawled to the crops as we crawled out, under thickened shelving of my mother hovering above us, a herd of hellfire at our heels. They've been known to eat their own kind when they fall to the wayside. I am but 4 of 6 Chapmans. I no longer carry my father's name, known only as heathen, daughter of the first wife who left. I know there is nowhere to fly to. I have seen lands void of salt. I am the rare young left undevoured.
Yeah!
Alrighty. This next one is an ekphrastic piece. I encourage you all to try doing some of these poems if you haven't, based on other works of art. It's a small picture, but there's a very famous painting called Christina's World from 1948 by Andrew Wyeth. There's a small picture of it. This is my fiction poem about that painting, and it's called Christina Did Not Notice at First How Small Home Was, until she left it, until she fled. In the silence of her father's weight on her upon waking, it was less than the value of the crops. Each blade of golden life more precious than her auburn strands scattered, stuck to her face with spittle, pressed into her pillow. Today, she understood the phrase homestead as instead, or steady as seasons, or perhaps steadfast, as her heartbeat, pounding the porch with her feet, fasting, as each day swallowed a vaporous hope that she'd outlast him. That the ruts in the land led toward her history while her hands wandered away, wondered which way would leave her palms empty in the swath of harvest. Her father does not follow her this time, belt knuckled. Christina waits for the chase, rubs wheat ears into her goose flesh. The wind warbles between the cracks in the barn. The boards are old and sing in deep baritone to her as the shadows grow longer than her hemline. Thank you. I wrote out a set list and I skipped one. This is a piece I am hopefully going to have totally memorized. It's not exactly a poem, it's a lyric essay. We are experimenting with the braided essays, so topics weave in and out of each other, so you may notice that in this reading. This is called Molt. The truth is that we were running. It didn't matter what from. Just summer again. Pine sol and boxes, our hands tinted charcoal black, and wrapping newspaper around dishes. It meant Neil Diamond, ABBA, Jim Croce, playing through the house at full volume. It meant removing any hint of our presence from every neglected crevice. It meant seeing my bedroom stretched like a stomach, filled and empty. I'm a Capricorn, a goat. My birthday is January 5th. My legal name is Diane Chapman, but on my birth certificate I was Diane Violate Barlow. A testament to my father's name, as well as his lack of education. He meant my middle name to tell the world I was soft and sweet as his grandmother Violet. He just spelled it wrong. No one noticed for 10 years. Mountain goats have two coats. The dense inner layer is hidden beneath another of stronger, hollow strands. This is how they withstand winter temperatures 50 degrees below and winds that travel 100 miles an hour. They must be cloaked twice. A protective boundary that, if you look close enough, is empty. On January 3rd, 1870, construction began on the Brooklyn Bridge. An estimated 20 or 30 people died building it. One of them was my ancestor, who fell into the concrete as it was poured. He was buried there, bones, flesh, fluids, and name. He left behind a wife with 11 children. Unable to support them all, she adopted some out to a family of the English surname, Chapman. I've been having the same dream intermittently all my life. I'm driving up a mountain pass in the snow with my family. The turns are all impossible switchbacks that take hours to ascend. At the top, we crest a peak so acute that the car should stop, high-centered. Instead, we go screaming down the other side, our guts sucked tight into our stomachs. Instead of relief, we plummet. Mountain goats are the only species of the genus Oreamnos. It's a derivation split between the term oros, the mountain, Aureus, mountain nymph, and amnos, lamb. The lamb is meek and the nymph so free. Is it the mountain that makes the goat? After all, it's by rubbing against rocks that they molt. Thank you.
Woo!
All right, we're gonna go to a weird place. A little weird place about a poem I wrote at 2 in the morning one time, which is my favorite time to write poems. Some people are morning poems. Who writes poems in the morning? Liz.
Like the AM, like the 3 a.m.
Yeah, 2, 3 a.m.
Right? Yeah.
Right, 2, 3 a.m. You guys are my kind of people. Liz also writes them at 2 and 3 a.m.